In this video, I'll show you how easy kit bashing miniatures to make them uniquely your own can be. And I'll tell you about all my favorite kit bashing kits. I love kit bashing minis. It's one of my favorite things to do. Now, I'll admit, I'm not an extreme kit basher. I frequently keep it pretty simple. I sometimes need to, cut up some parts, and I use green stuff or milliput if I have some once in a while. But a lot of my favorite kit bashes are just simple head swaps or part changes. And that's okay. There are degrees of kit bashing, of course, but that doesn't make a simple head swap not a kit bash. Anyone who says that a head swap isn't a kit bash kind of sounds like some sort of gatekeeper to me. If you don't know what kit bashing is, well, it's usually when you build something like a miniature or a model, and then you add in parts from other miniatures and models to make something different. It comes from the 1960s and 1970s, if Google is to be believed in this day and age, and combines the word kit, like a model kit, and the word bash, to like smash or put together. If you look closely at Star Wars spaceships, like made back in the day in the original trilogy and all that kind of stuff, they're covered in small parts taken from model tank kits and battleship kits and other model, kits as well. It's the way that stuff used to be built. But again, you don't have to be a sculptor to kit bash. It's actually really easy to do some simple head swaps and other part swaps, and it can really change the way a model looks. I was recently reminded of this when I was digging through a small plastic storage bin recently looking for something else, and I found an old kit bash I did some time ago. It was a head swap and a simple hand replacement, and I glued an extra pouch onto his waist, right? And the story of the model completely changed. That's what you're doing with kit bashing. You're changing the look, of course, but also the story. The Warhammer 40,000 Officio Prefectus Commissar is a model that's been around for a long time. It's iconic, and it's full of attitude. It's a great sculpt, and it looks like Games Workshop has discontinued the model, as it's no longer listed on their website at all. And they've replaced it with this guy, who is... he's okay. He's not as good, in my opinion. But the other model with the dumb name, He came with an option for either a bolt pistol or a plasma pistol. Duh. Of course I'm going to take the plasma pistol. And he had a crazy hat and admittedly kind of a dumb sword, but I still love him. I've used that model to make my well-known and despised Inquisitor Babby kit bash. And I've also gotten rid of the weird curvy sword and just gave him a power fist, which looked dope, I think. But I believe that the coolest kit bash for this model that I've done is probably the version that I had kind of lost and forgotten about there. I needed a bit of a space pirate for a Stargrave crew a few years ago, and I used this commissar model as the base, which already kind of looks a bit swashbuckly, right? And then literally 3 small and easy changes did the job. Number 1, get rid of the curvy sword. I cut it and his hand off just below the big cuff on his jacket. I replaced it with a left hand holding a pistol from the Orlok gang box from Necromunda. Here's a well-known secret. The Necromunda kits are some of the best GW kits made for kit bashing. If you're doing sci-fi and apocalyptic stuff, like I usually am. I don't play Necromunda, but I have Orloks, Caudor, Vansar, Goliaths, and a bunch of other boxes. There are so many great options in those kits, and you can do so much with them. And that head with the goggles and the mustache, that head screams Space Pirate when put onto that body. That head is from the exact same Necromunda Orlok gang box as the left-handed pistol. And I don't know... I've not seen a head since that I think could have done any better. All of a sudden, then the jodhpurs and the epaulets and the cummerbund sash stop saying overdressed commissar and, they start saying perfectly dressed space pirate. I added a small pouch from a Stargrave plastic kit, I'm not sure which one actually, and then he was ready. Then I lost him for a while, but now he'll get painted soon. Several years ago, my good friend Vince Venturella and I released a miniature agnostic game about an alien invasion of Earth called Majestic 13. Vince and I make games under the name Snarling Badger Studios. You can check out our stuff if you want. Link, down in the description. Anyway, Majestic 13 is about fighting against aliens, and I wanted some alien greys. You know what alien greys are, right? To be I wanted some models like that to be able to fight against. But if you know anything about the alien greys, however, you know that they seem pretty skinny. Not very threatening in a fight. But what if they were in that power armor, though? That would be a lot scarier. I immediately got the idea in my mind of an alien gray head sticking out of Space Marine armor, like the older stubby stuff, not the newer, cooler Primaris stuff. In actuality, I used some Horus Heresy Space Marine armor, which is kind of between the two in size, but I mainly used it because there's no skulls that I'd have to shave off, because there's skulls all over the place. And also, the shoulders have a little bit of detail on them, even without the big dumb shoulder pads added, which, I thought they looked better, without the shoulder pads in this particular situation. And then I just needed to find an alien gray head to work with. As I should have known, all I had to do was look at Puppets War out of Poland. They had me covered. I could have ordered the alien gray heads made in poured resin and then had them shipped to me, but they also offer them in STL format for 3D printing, which saves time and shipping cost. I had my friend Dave from Bottle and Spool print them for me. Link in the description before if you want to see Dave's website, along with a bunch of other heads, for future head swaps. And then I just simply glued that alien head to the Space Marine's neck. I didn't use, like I said, the normal giant shoulder pads, or the backpack, but it just looked right without them. The tiny little alien gray, poking out of that power armor looks exactly how I saw it in my head. So I was really pleased with the result. Again, a simple head swap and then leaving off a few parts really helped to make the mini work. Other times, it's just something as easy as adding different legs onto a torso and then throwing on some added accessories as well. And then you can make something really unique, like this weird little guy. He's got Adeptus Mechanicus legs, and from the waist up is a resin mini I bought from Anvil Industry in the UK. That's pretty much it. If you want to get into kit bashing, I'll tell you the secret sauce. Stargrave and Frostgrave plastic kits from North Star Military Figures, pretty much any plastic kits from Wargames Atlantic, and the previously mentioned Necromunda kits from Games Workshop. You can build pretty much whatever you like from these kits, as long as they're mostly humans, of course. Or you can use whatever parts from these kits to help customize and kit bash pretty much whatever other 28mm scale models that you may already have. They're like the Rosetta Stone for kit bashing, in my opinion. Case in point, I wanted to make a couple of ragged-looking low sci-fi guys for an upcoming project. On the first one, I started with a body from the Frostgrave Cultists 3 kit, and then gave him an integrated gun arm from the Stargrave Automatons kit. I talked about the Automatons kit last year, Pachow, and it's becoming one of my favorites. Then I put on a 3D printed weird helmet designed by the folks over at Anvil Industry in their digital STL store, and it was really, really easy, and it looks unique and even a bit mysterious. The other guy started with a body from the Hive Scum box for Necromunda, another great Kit Bashers box from the Necromunda line. Then I gave him a Frostgrave left arm and a right arm holding a gun from the new The Damned set from Wargames Atlantic that finally showed up in my mailbox at the beginning of the week. The head is a resin-poured head from Puppets War that I bought years ago, and then I just added a pouch on his belt from Stargrave, and that's pretty much it. No cutting, no sculpting, just picking the right pieces and gluing them together. Kit bashing. The best part about kit bashing miniatures is how it allows you to be unique and express yourself even more in your hobby. Obviously, you can do that, with the way that you paint your miniatures, but kit bashing your miniatures to be different than everyone else's turns that uniqueness up another notch, right? Take a look through the sprues that you already have. I'll bet that there are extra unused heads on those sprues, and weapons, and pouches, and all kinds of stuff like that. Just try some simple head swaps to start and see where your creativity takes you. It's easier than you think. I feel that a lot of folks haven't tried kit bashing because they think that they won't do it right. And I'm here to tell you that you will. Not only that, there's no limit to the creativity that you can use when kit bashing. What do you think? Have you kit bashed minis before? What are your secret sauce favorite kits to use for kit bashing? Let us all know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, please, kit bash the like button, just with the bash, really. It really helps the channel, and it helps videos like this one get out there in front of more people. Also, while you're down there bashing on that like button, you could also tickle the subscribe button to see more videos like this every single Friday. It's free. Thanks for watching.